Hi there. Have you ever stopped to think, what is photography? I know, it's easy to find a technical definition. Basically, photography is a process by which we can capture still images and print them or transmit them in a form that other people can see. Okay, that's not the technical definition right from a dictionary, but it's something close. But what is photography to you? What do you practice photography for? Why do you photograph? Why do you have a camera? Why do you bother? There are so many answers to that question, almost as many answers as there are people with cameras. The fact is that if you look at the variety of images that are online these days, if you look at the variety of things that different people are doing, you'll see that, well, there are a lot of reasons for doing photography. Let's take a look at my history with photography for a while. I started out as, I guess the best description I can give you is a gear geek. I liked the toys. I saw nice shiny cameras, I wanted to have one. I finally got a nice shiny camera. When I got that nice shiny camera, I had to find things to do with it. So I did. I photographed all sorts of things. Most of the photographs were truly awful. But I had a camera. And playing with the camera, to me at that time, was more important than the images that I got. So, I was a gear geek. Then, as time went on, I discovered the darkroom, and my whole process changed, because now all of a sudden I was shooting black and white, I was developing it myself, I was printing it myself, I was learning how to print it properly. I was taking a little more care with my images, but my images were still, there was a certain genericness. I know that's not a real word, but they were very generic in nature. They were simple things, like I'd take a picture of a friend's car, or I'd take a picture of a tree, or I'd take a... There you go. I would look at some of the images I saw in magazines, and I'd go out and try to copy those images, usually with rather limited success, because I wasn't taking the time to learn how to do the best images. I was just too busy playing with the toys. Then life happened. Marriage, kids. Suddenly the camera was relegated back to shooting color print film and color slide film to record our life. I was now the family photojournalist. My job now was to get pictures of all those special events that took place as our children grew. And that went on for a long time, of course. Raising children takes time. And over the ensuing years, my photography became very much about recording the family. I have, rows of photo albums, all with nice, neat 4x6 prints made from 35mm negatives that I had taken during that time. Well, where does that leave me now? Now I still record events. I still take pictures at weddings and special events and family gatherings and so on. But now I've discovered that I'm far more interested in the composition. I'm far more interested in getting an interesting image. It may be a family photo. It may be pictures at a family event. But I'm taking more time in trying to get the best picture than I am in just trying to record everything in sight. For instance, I can get really excited about the frame rate of new cameras and how it can shoot, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 60 frames per second. But at the same time, I never use it. I turn my camera on burst mode only occasionally, and only when I'm trying to capture some sort of action that's happening so fast that I'm likely to miss the peak of that action. My reflexes, and the camera's reflexes for that matter, are not such that I would be likely to capture it. But at least if I'm shooting at a high frame rate, there is a chance that one of those frames will be at that decisive moment. Pardon my apologies to Henri Cartier-Bresson for that reference. So, my question to you this time is simple. What is photography to you now? Right now, I have become more of a teacher of photography than an actual photographer. Yes, I shoot images. Do I go out as often as many of the people I know? No. Do I take as much care with my images as many of the people I know? No. Sadly, if you look at my photography, there are some nice images there, I'm sure. But for the most part, I don't always take the time that I should. But I have gathered a lot of knowledge about the process. And as a result, now I've sort of slipped back into my vocation for 30-odd years of being a teacher. And right now, I am far more effective, I think, as a teacher of photographic basics than I am as a practitioner of those basics. Well, I realize that this has been a video that, well, maybe hasn't taken us very far. But it has opened a simple question. Really, what is photography to you? A couple of examples to end off. I know of photographers, for instance, who are totally enamored with the look of HDR. Now, I'm not talking about HDR used to actually increase the dynamic range, but HDR to get that particular HDR look. I'm not a terribly big fan of that, but I can understand. I understand that what they're doing, they're using photography as art. And they are choosing a color palette and a sense of urgency, I guess you might say, because that's what I feel when I look at some of these images. They're using something to express themselves. And for that, I applaud them. There are people I know who are totally into bird photography. It's just birds, 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 birds. But I mean, that takes so much skill and so much time and patience that, again, I applaud these people for their persistence, the fact that they can come back with some magnificent images. I know people who just do the morning walk. Now, they do the morning walk before I even do morning. So they're out there in the local parks and they're getting all of the early morning wildlife, all of the things that hide the rest of the day, but they haven't quite gone to bed yet. So they're coming back with these wonderful wildlife pictures that didn't require super high-end equipment, just required you to be there and to be observant and to be quiet and to get the images. So, portrait photographers, sports photographers, all of these are special skills. Do you have a specialty? Is there an area that you specialize in? As I said, for me, sadly, I don't think I can really put a finger on anything, but I can say that I do enjoy doing these videos. I do enjoy doing talks to photography groups and just sitting around and talking cameras and with any photographer I can find who's willing to talk to me. And sometimes I do talk too much. Well, what can I say? If you like this video, of course, give me a like. If you want to see more of my videos, subscribe to this channel. And of course, if you want to spread this question to somebody else, then share it. And in the meantime, bye for now.